Okay, Hare Krishna. So, welcome, whoever is watching. This is the fourth session of the ISKCON Disciples course. So we're starting now on Unit 3, Part 1 of the manual. This section is called, this unit is called Acting in Relation to the Guru. Sakshadari tve nasamasta shastrer uktastata bhavyata eva sadvi. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is from the Sri Gurvashtika verse number 7. This is the song that we sing every morning at the time of Mangal Arati. It's in glorification. There's 8 verses in glorification of the spiritual master. And the relationship between the disciple and the spiritual master, and for one who wants to practice Krishna consciousness, it's extremely important. So here, the spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. So not that the spiritual master is the Lord, but he is honored as much because he's representing the Lord. He is representing the Lord in that he is representing him by speaking what the Lord speaks, repeating the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and so on. And he is representing him because he is also living according to those teachings. And that's what it means to be acharya. Acharya means that the spiritual master, especially the big spiritual masters, the great spiritual masters, that they have heard from the right source, means from the disciplic succession that has handed this knowledge down from Lord Krishna, and they have they are speaking what they have heard as it is without making any changes. And the third point is that they are teaching by their personal example. There's 3 points. That makes one an acharya. So the spiritual master, qualified like that, is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he's the most confidential servitor of the Lord. Another verse referring to the importance of the Guru Puja. Guru Puja means the Guru Puja ceremony in particular, or worship of the Guru, and in general, worship of the Guru. Aradhananang sarveshang Vishnor aradhanang param tasmat paratarang devi tadiyanang samacharan. And another verse for the same purpose. Ye me bhakta jana partha na me bhaktash chate janaha mad bhaktanang ye bhaktas te me bhakta tama mataha. Lord Krishna speaking to Arjuna, those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but those who are the devotees of my servant are actually my devotees. It's an interesting verse, because and the point here is the real understanding of this verse is that if someone claims that they are directly Krishna's devotee, uh, uh, independent of anyone else. I am Krishna's devotee. I'm not servant of anyone, I'm just directly Krishna's devotee. Then it's understood that they are not actually Krishna's devotee. Krishna says like that because Krishna's devotees all feel that they are very, that they are servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, so many times removed the servant of the Lord. This is the understanding. So in relationship to guru-disciple relationship, if guru is thinking that I am directly servant of Krishna, then there's something wrong. The guru actually is thinking, just like Srila Prabhupada, he had so much success in preaching Krishna consciousness, but in the end, he would always take the very humble position that I'm nothing, I'm insignificant. Whatever success I've had has been because I've simply tried to carry out the instructions of my spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. I've just tried to carry out his instructions, and therefore I've had some success by his blessings. But the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta also saw his spiritual master and all the other spiritual masters who have handed this knowledge down from Lord Krishna as his superiors and his source of inspiration and his source of spiritual ability. So this is the mood of the actual pure devotees. If someone thinks that I am independently, I'm servant of Krishna, I'm intimate devotee of Krishna, then no. The mentality is wrong. It is not self-aggrandizement. It is the real teaching. So this is Srila Prabhupada speaking in his arrival address in New York in 1976. So this Guru Puja, which we are doing, it is not self-aggrandizement. It is real teaching. You sing daily. What is that? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Ara Na Karya Aikya. Bas. This is translation. I tell you frankly, whatever little success is there in this Krishna consciousness movement, I simply believed what was spoken by my Guru Maharaj. You also continue that, then every success will come. So simply by following the instructions of the spiritual master, then that is where we get success. We cannot do anything independently. And that is why one follows and worships the spiritual master. Now here's some statement from the ISKCON law book regarding pranam mantras. After chanting the pranam mantra of their Diksha Guru, all grand disciples and future generations should chant at least the first of Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantras while offering obeisances as a means of respecting the founder Acharya. So, of course, those who are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, direct disciples, we say there's two prayers that we say in honor and glorification of Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyadade Shatarani. But those who are the grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada, that means disciples of his disciples, they will chant at least one prayer for their spiritual master, which will probably be similar to Srila Prabhupada's first mantra, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate, and then their spiritual master's name there, Iti Namane. And then they need to follow that with at least the first of the two mantras that we chant for Srila Prabhupada. This is the ISKCON law. And why? Because although someone, as the generations of devotees go on, and there are as generation after generation, as more and more devotees come and go in this Krishna consciousness movement, Srila Prabhupada's position as the founder acharya will always be unique. So they'll have their own spiritual master, which is very, very important. But we all have, as Srila Prabhupada as the founder acharya, and his position it must be maintained. Of course, no one can make him not the founder acharya, but we must continue to recognize him as the founder acharya, not just an acharya, not just a spiritual master, but the spiritual master who established ISKCON. We discussed this actually a week ago. The spiritual master that established ISKCON, who set up the standards for sadhana within the ISKCON, like chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regular principles, who set up our morning, evening programs, basically gave us all the guidelines for how we should be acting on and on within ISKCON. He did that. So Srila Prabhupada, and he's a Shiksha, preeminent Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada is. So because all the knowledge that we have of Krishna consciousness, it came from his books. Even if we say, now we can read books by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by other acharyas, many books are being translated to English. Yes, that is true, and there's nothing wrong with reading them. But we cannot skip over Srila Prabhupada's books. We cannot understand the other books without going through and first understanding through Srila Prabhupada's books. So, going on, Guru Puja, formal worship of ISKCON gurus. Offering artik. While performing artik in the temple or at temple-related functions, a pujari may keep a small picture of his or her Diksha Guru on the artik tray or table instead of on the altar, provided the Diksha Guru is an ISKCON-approved Guru in good standing. The picture of the Diksha Guru should be smaller in size than the picture of Srila Prabhupada on the altar, and it shall be removed after the artik. So this is another ISKCON law. So the system is, when you offer artik, you have a picture of your guru there. Of course, the picture of Srila Prabhupada will always remain there, and in many temples, there's also Srila Prabhupada in his murti form, in a three-dimensional worshipable form. He's there, but we don't have such forms for all the other devotees who may be serving as gurus now and going on in the future. But if you're a disciple of a disciple, or third generation or fourth generation of disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and you are offering artik, you have a picture of your guru because you're offering the artik paraphernalia to the guru. You're offering to the guru, and And that picture that you're using as a matter of etiquette should be smaller than the picture of Srila Prabhupada. So going on, Guru Puja for current ISKCON Diksha Gurus. This is another ISKCON law. The disciples of ISKCON Gurus, other than Srila Prabhupada, may offer Guru Puja to their Gurus outside of the temple room. The temple should provide facility for these disciples' worship. So, in addition to Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja, which is performed every day, every morning, then if sometimes one devotee or a few devotees, maybe many devotees, depending on the temple and the guru, they may have many devotees may have the same guru, and they would like to also perform that Guru Puja directly for their spiritual master, in addition to the Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja. So that Guru Puja is to be done, it can be done every day if you want, but it needs to be done outside of the temple room. Maybe another room, somewhere outside of the temple room for the regular daily Guru Puja. And the temple management should provide such facility for this Guru Puja to be done if there are disciples there who would like to perform it on a regular basis. Because the Guru Puja and the relationship between the Guru and the disciple is so important. So we have, of course, Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja. Srila Prabhupada is the founder acharya, and that goes on always without fail. But the Guru Puja for those gurus in ISKCON who are representing Srila Prabhupada, that also is important for the disciples, and if they wish to perform that in addition to the Srila Prabhupada Guru Puja, then that can be done, but just outside of the temple room. Okay. Okay. Also under the heading of formal worship of ISKCON gurus, restricted titles. Okay, there's no one in ISKCON will be addressed publicly with the honorific title, His Divine Grace, nor to be addressed either publicly or privately by the honorifics ending in Pada or Deva. Disciples may address their ISKCON Diksha or Shiksha gurus as, I guess there's an exception here, Guru Dev or Guru Maharaj. These are the only two titles that are in ISKCON that are accepted for gurus who are within ISKCON. And Srila Prabhupada, his position is, again, very special. So only within ISKCON, only Srila Prabhupada will ever have the title of His Divine Grace. Also, only Srila Prabhupada will ever have the title of Prabhupada within ISKCON. Even though someone may come, they may be empowered, and they seem that they're qualified, but still Srila Prabhupada's position in ISKCON is special in that way, and the titles need to be respected in that way. There was a period in the early days of Srila Prabhupada's first disciples that were accepting disciples after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, and these different titles were being uh, uh, used, but many of those gurus are no longer active in that position within ISKCON, and it was realized that that, that it was not proper even to be um, yeah, utilizing those kind of titles for just anyone. So Guru Dev and Guru Maharaj are the only titles that can be used within ISKCON for the ISKCON gurus. This is the ISKCON law. Okay, another consideration here: welcoming Vaishnavas. Events welcoming Vaishnavas, including those serving as gurus to ISKCON temples, should be modest. For example, offering of a sitting place, offering of prasadam and something to drink, presentation of a garland, and performance of kirtan. So, again, of course, these are very nice honors if they are offered to somebody, but again, this is all part of the attempt to keep Srila Prabhupada or keep recognizing him, and that we can keep him as a founder acharya, but we should continue to recognize him. We make special point to recognize him and continue recognizing him always as the most special devotee within ISKCON, as the founder acharya. So Srila Prabhupada received so much honor wherever he went, not only within the ISKCON temples, but other places, because of his preaching work, because of his purity. But as a matter of etiquette, then devotees within gurus and leaders and so on within ISKCON, not that they should not be honored, but the honor should be on a lesser level than that of Srila Prabhupada. Again, someone comes, you can give them a place to sit, offering prasadam, garlands, performance of kirtan. We used to do kirtan. This hasn't happened in this temple for a long time. I don't know all over ISKCON. But it used to be when someone, guru, came from visiting, we'd actually go out and to the parking lot or when they were arriving, and we would have a kirtan. That was nice, and it was within the what's allowed by ISKCON laws too. We would actually have nice kirtan, and I'm sure that was very much appreciated by those who were coming to visit the temple. We've gotten away from that over the time, but that was our practice years ago. And we see here that this is also included in as ways that are acceptable to be showing honor to the devotees and leaders and acharyas within ISKCON. Going on, now on the subject of Vyas Puja. Vyas Puja means the appearance day of the spiritual master. Vyas Puja for ISKCON, current Diksha and Shiksha gurus. In order to focus more fully on Srila Prabhupada and every devotee's special relationship with him, an ISKCON Shiksha or Diksha guru may accept public Guru Puja, Artik, and or foot bathing in person once a year on ISKCON property on his or her Vyas Puja day. The celebration may be held in the temple room. ISKCON members conducting Vyas Puja ceremonies for ISKCON gurus shall observe them in a modest way, significantly less elaborate than Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja. In general, devotees shall observe these Vyas Puja celebrations in their own locales in ISKCON. Vyas Puja books may be published only for Srila Prabhupada. So again, the purpose is not to dishonor the current and future gurus within ISKCON, not to dishonor them, but to always keep Srila Prabhupada, keep recognizing Srila Prabhupada's special position as the founder Acharya. And Srila Prabhupada was very special in so many ways. He received so much honor everywhere, but he never became bewildered, thinking I am, he never thinking that, oh, they are honoring me so much, I'm very, very special devotee. Of course, he knew his position, but he always felt that he was simply the humble, very small, humble servant of his spiritual master. He never saw himself as a big devotee in any way. He always saw himself as very small. But sometimes, but sometimes it has happened that those who are in lesser positions, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when receiving too much honor, too much glorification, too much worship, became actually bewildered by that and actually couldn't maintain that position. So it's a system within ISKCON within ISKCON, the system is even if someone may be very doing a lot of preaching and everything within ISKCON, the honor that is shown to them is to be significantly less, not neglected, but less than that of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had about 5,000 initiated disciples. And so he had many, many followers like that. He had many, he being in charge of ISKCON, when ISKCON in time that became wealthy. There were many temples, many books were distributed, lots of money, Lakshmi was coming in, and Srila Prabhupada was honored in so many ways with so many people. But he never for a moment thought himself to be some great person and became bewildered, as many people have, and falling down and having loose relationships with disciples. And we see this outside of ISKCON also, in other kind of groups. And Srila Prabhupada never had any situation like that, ever. So he was able to accept all this honor, but he saw himself only as Krishna's representative, and so we need to always remember Srila Prabhupada's special position like that, because it's actually a symptom, one of the symptoms of one in ecstatic love of Krishna, one who's basically a pure devotee of Krishna, that he is detached. And detached doesn't just mean that you're struggling and just trying to not become attached to something. It means you're actually detached. It means it's like you sit down and somebody puts in front of you a big plate of Mahaprasadam, and you honor it like that, but you're not attached. You're not attached if you get that. You're not attached to anything material. You're simply, or you may receive so much honor, but you're not attached, thinking that this honor is for me. Like Srila Prabhupada pointed out, I think we'll read this later on here. He would simply say, "You are worshiping me, but I do not take this for myself. I'm taking this and I'm passing it on to my spiritual master and on to, through the disciplic succession to Lord Krishna. I'm not accepting any of this worship for myself. I'm accepting it for your benefit and passing it on to Krishna. And I'm giving, on behalf of Lord Krishna and the disciplic succession, I'm giving you knowledge and guidance to become Krishna conscious." So this was Srila Prabhupada's position. And so in so many ways, including what we just read here, we are trying to remember Srila Prabhupada's position as the founder Acharya and his special position within ISKCON. Okay. Honor the picture of the Guru. These are some other quotes. "There is no difference between me and my picture." This is Srila Prabhupada speaking. "Therefore, we should honor and keep pictures in that spirit. If we throw pictures this way and that way, that is offense. The name and the picture are as good as the person in the spiritual world." So for the spiritual master, especially the spiritual masters like Srila Prabhupada, I think any spiritual master, because if they're actually representing Krishna, representing their spiritual master in Krishna. So the picture especially cannot be just thrown around. And although it's not mentioned in this particular statement, Srila Prabhupada has also pointed out that the pictures of the gurus, especially those that are, like we put on, we use for artik and we're worshiping through that picture, the picture should be in the entire body, not just the head, not just some part of the body, but the whole body of the guru should appear in that picture. Okay. Spiritual master's appearance day is worshipped as Vyas Puja. The ripened fruit is received hand to hand through the disciplic succession. And anyone who does this work in disciplic succession for Srila Vyasadeva is considered as representative of Vyasadeva. And as such, the bona fide spiritual master's appearance day is worshipped as Vyasa Puja. The exalted seat on which the spiritual master sits is also called the Vyasa Sana, which literally means the seat of Vyas. So Srila Vyasadeva, mentioned here, is he compiled and wrote down and expanded and organized the Vedic scriptures to make it more easy to understand. So all these books that we have, the original books, they were put into writing by Srila Vyasadeva. And just like we have the Srimad Bhagavatam, the verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and that was written down or composed by Srila Vyasadeva. But that Srimad Bhagavatam is in itself is a commentary, an explanation of the Vedanta Sutra, which was also written by Srila Vyasadeva. Vedanta Sutra was Vedanta. Vedanta means the end of all knowledge. So like all the Vedic knowledge was summarized in sutras or codes, very short verses that had a lot of meaning. for those who had the intelligence to understand them. The Vedanta Sutra was composed by Srila Vyasadeva, but no one, practically speaking, could understand, well, at least in present time Kali Yuga, no one could really understand those verses. So Srila Vyasadeva composed the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is an explanation of the Vedanta Sutra. But of course, we, in modern Kali Yugites, we cannot, if we study the Srimad Bhagavatam, just the verses of it, we won't get that much out of it. It would be very difficult to understand the real meaning and purport of the Srimad Bhagavatam, even. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada wrote very elaborate purports for the Srimad Bhagavatam, same as for the Bhagavad Gita, same as for the Nectar of Devotion, which is a summary study of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, like that. Srila Prabhupada gave us all these wonderful books but it all started with Srila Vyasadeva, and so the spiritual master is sitting down on the Vyasasana and speaking the words that were spoken by Srila Vyasadeva. And so therefore the seat of the spiritual master is called the Vyasasana, because he is representing the Vyasadeva. It's interesting. Srila Prabhupada says, he writes in one purport in the first canto, first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, that one should not dare sit on the Vyasasana unless he is able to the exact wording, but their defeat on the basis of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he needs to be able to defeat the 6 different philosophical schools of philosophical thought in India, logic, and there's one by a Kapila Dev, but not the incarnation Kapila Dev. There's 6 of them, and so one who is spiritual master should be able to, on the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam, defeat the faults in these particular schools of thought, as represented as a representative of Srila Vyasadeva. Anyway, the point is that the Srila Vyasadeva is honored, and the spiritual master who is representing Srila Vyasadeva is honored by sitting with a seat called the Vyasasana. So let's just go on. Not a single of the jewels or contribution the viceroy could touch. So Srila Prabhupada explains like this. He says, so this Vyas Puja means one day in a year on the birthday of the spiritual master. Because he is representative of Vyas, he is delivering the same knowledge which has come down by disciplic succession without any change. He is offered the respect. This is called Vyasa Puja. And the spiritual master receives all honor, all contribution on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not for his person. Just like in our country, Srila was referring to India, when there was British rule, there was a viceroy, a king's representative. So naturally, when viceroy used to go to some meeting, many people used to present valuable jewels, valuable because just to honor him. So Srila Prabhupada's point here is that just like in the British rule, the viceroy meant like the vice king, or the representative of the king, who was probably in another country at that point. So the viceroy was in charge, and people, because of his position, people would bring him all kinds of valuables and jewels and gifts, but he could not. None of that was for him. He was representing the king, so he would receive all these things, but he would later on he would hold them and later give all these valuable items to the king. He was not supposed to keep anything for himself. He was a representative of the king. So Srila Prabhupada's point here is that yes, the spiritual master in general is honored by the disciples, and especially during the Vyas Puja day is honored by the disciples, or in ISKCON, his disciples, grand disciples, great grand disciples, because of his special position. He's honored so much, but his mentality, he's not accepting this worship for himself. He's accepting it on behalf of Lord Krishna. He's accepting this worship as the representative of his spiritual master, the disciplic succession, and Krishna. And at the same time, he is it's his service. He's seeing this as his service to his disciples who are offering this respect. This is service to them, because by his accepting this on behalf of the Lord, then his disciples are making spiritual advancement. He's not thinking, I am a great person. I'm simply representative of my spiritual master and the disciplic succession. And Srila Prabhupada maybe received a lot of money and a lot of honor, a lot of different things, but he never thought for a moment that any of these things were his. He might have used them in the service of preaching. He was given, if someone offered a lot of money, he would use it to somehow or other to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. He didn't use things for his own personal sense gratification. So this is the position of the guru, and in the Vyas Puja ceremony, that is the mood. I'm accepting this, but not for me. I'm accepting this on behalf of the disciplic succession and Lord Krishna. The honor is going there. Not a single of the, I'm not sure that I just read this. Not a single of the jewels or contributions the Viceroy could touch. I'm continuing this previous one. But the law was that not a single of the jewels or contribution the Viceroy could touch. It was going to the royal treasury. The Viceroy could accept on behalf of the king all contribution, but it goes to the king. Similarly, this day, Vyas Puja day, whatever honor, contribution, and feelings is being offered to the spiritual master, it is. Again, as we have received this knowledge from upwards, similarly, this respect also goes from downward to the upward. This is the process. So, as the spiritual master is teacher of the student, he has to teach the disciple how to send back his respect and contribution to God. This is called Vyas Puja. So same point I just made. Srila Prabhupada is receiving this honor, but his mentality and in reality, what he's doing is simply passing this on to Krishna, and he's teaching by his personal example of how that is done. He is not accepting for his own sense gratification, self-aggrandizement, as he uses the term, but he is accepting this for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by passing that knowledge, or passing that honor rather, onto Krishna, then those who gave that honor are receiving blessings from Lord Krishna to help them advance on the spiritual path. Sevaya. Just like if you purchase something, you must pay for it. Therefore, it is called sevaya. You cannot pay by returning the value, which is taught by the spiritual master. That is not possible. Therefore, it is called sevaya. Dedicate your life for his service. You cannot pay. What have you got to pay to the spiritual master? So this is significant, because what the spiritual master gives by giving knowledge and by giving knowledge about Krishna, by giving the process by which we can become Krishna conscious and go back home, back to Godhead. What can you give to repay such a gift? Nothing. But the only thing that we can do is we dedicate our entire lives to the service of the spiritual master, and that is the point here. You dedicate your whole life to the service of the spiritual master. That's called seva or sevaya. You cannot give the spiritual master enough money or enough. You can't give him anything, really. But what we have is our free will. Every living entity has free will. Every human being has free will. So if we want to really repay the spiritual master, well, we can't really repay, but to do the best we can do, then the best thing we can do is to honor the spiritual master, follow his instructions, and not give up, and not give that up throughout our life. And the whole point of Krishna consciousness, the activities of Krishna consciousness are not that difficult. We chant Hare Krishna, which is actually very nice, pleasing. We avoid the 4 sinful activities, but those regulative principles are called the 4 regulative principles of freedom, because they're actually makes our life easier. We become free from the agitation of having to, have illicit sex and eat non-vegetarian foods and all that. We become free from that. And everything that all of the practices of Krishna consciousness are actually joyful. Sure, we have our challenges, but the actual practices of Krishna consciousness are joyful. In fact, there's a song by, I think, Srila Narottama Das Thakur, and in the song it refers to the process of Krishna consciousness as being Kevala Ananda Kanda, or the process of becoming Krishna conscious itself is joyful. So spiritual master gives us everything, so the only thing we can do to even attempt to repay is to follow those instructions. Basically means dedicate our life to giving Krishna consciousness to others. We become Krishna conscious, and to the full degree that we're able to, we see how we can give Krishna consciousness to others. That is how you please the spiritual master. Duty of disciple to carry out order, spread Lord Chaitanya's message all over the world. So same thing I just said. Pritiviti Ache Ayata Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachara Haibe Mora Nam. This is from the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya must preach Krishna consciousness in every village and town in the world. That will satisfy the Lord. It is not that one should act whimsically for his own personal satisfaction. This order comes down through the parampara system, and the spiritual master presents these orders to the disciple so that he, the disciple, can spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is the duty of every disciple to carry out the order of the bona fide spiritual master and spread Lord Chaitanya's message all over the world. So, same point I just made. Our duty is to dedicate our life to giving Krishna consciousness to others. Whatever position we are in, whatever we have, somehow or other, we should see how we can use what we have to give Krishna consciousness to others. Here's a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidi panipatrena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam yaninas tattvadarshanaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant, without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. So we want to know the truth. We hear from the spiritual master, and our life has to be dedicated to his service. Same points we've been making here. If there is no surrendering, then there is no advancement. Our movement is the beginning of spiritual life. Our movement is that beginning of spiritual life is to surrender. If there is no surrendering, then there is no advancement. Sarva dharmang parityaja mamekang sharanang praja. This is the beginning, surrender. If that thing is lacking, there is no beginning even. What to speak of advancement? What is discussed already? Na sitting, na avanoti, na sukham, na parangati. This is the beginning of spiritual life. The word is called disciple. Disciple means who accepts discipline. If there's no discipline, where is disciple? Srila Prabhupada has actually stated, if the disciple is not following the instructions of the spiritual master, he is not disciple. Of course, that doesn't mean that Srila Prabhupada rejects, but in principle, the disciple, if one agrees to follow the spiritual master, agrees to follow the regular principles, chant their rounds, and so on, and they deviate from that, they give it up, then practically speaking, they're not disciple because they're not accepting the simple discipline that they agreed to, that they promised to. One must strictly try to execute the order. The principle of very rigidly carrying out the order of the spiritual master must be observed. The spiritual master gives different orders to different people. For example, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami to preach. And he ordered Raghunath Das Goswami to strictly follow the rules and regulations of the renounced order. All 6 Goswamis strictly followed the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the principle for progress in devotional service. After receiving an order from the spiritual master, one must strictly try to execute that order. That is the way of success. And of course, we know in Srila Prabhupada's life, he actually received an instruction from his spiritual master at his very first meeting of the spiritual master. He went in, coaxed and pushed by a friend to go in and see this sadhu. And as soon as they walked in, of course, they bowed down, which was proper. And before they could even get up and look at it, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, "You're educated young men. Why don't you preach Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking people?" And which Srila Prabhupada was very surprised to hear, but he was also very happy to hear this, because now he realized that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was actually a sadhu. He had a lot of experience in his youth when he was living at home. His father every day would bring so many people to the house, feed them, and some of them were probably sadhus, but a lot of them were cheaters. But so Srila Prabhupada saw like that, so he didn't have a very good impression of people being called sadhus. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was definitely a sadhu, a saintly person who had dedicated his life to preaching Krishna consciousness. So it was going on. In this way, the Bhakti Lata shrivels up. Bhakti Lata means the creeper of devotion. Giving up the regulative principles and living according to one's whims is compared to a mad elephant, which by force uproots the Bhakti Lata and breaks it into pieces. In this way, the Bhakti Lata shrivels up. Such an offense is especially created when one disobeys the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called Guru Avagya. The devotee must therefore be very careful not to commit offenses against the spiritual master by disobeying his instructions. As soon as one is deviated from the instructions of the spiritual master, the uprooting of the Bhakti Lata begins, and gradually all the leaves dry up. So Bhakti Lata means the creeper of devotion is an analogy, but in practicing spiritual life, it's described that this creeper of devotion gradually goes from seed and gradually goes up, and keeps growing and growing and growing until eventually it reaches the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, pure devotional service. But that analogous creeper of devotion, if we offend the spiritual master or we disobey the spiritual master, then even the spiritual advancement that we've made will diminish, and our creeper of devotion will become shriveled up and will be gone. So that's what's being described here. The order of the spiritual master is the life substance of the disciple. After being initiated and receiving the orders of the spiritual master, the disciple should unhesitatingly think about the instructions or orders of the spiritual master and should not allow himself to be disturbed by anything else. This is also the verdict of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who, while explaining a verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Vyasa Yatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana. Bhagavad Gita, as it is, 2.41, points out The order of the spiritual master is the life substance of the disciple. The disciple shouldn't consider whether he is going back home, back to Godhead. His first business should be to execute the order of the spiritual master. Thus, a disciple should always meditate on the order of the spiritual master, and that is perfectional meditation. Not only should he meditate upon that order, but he should find out the means by which he can perfectly worship and execute it. So again, we saw in Srila Prabhupada's life how he did that. From the moment of that first meeting, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had instructed that why don't you preach to the English-speaking people. Srila Prabhupada was already meditating on it. He already accepted Srila Bhaktisiddhanta as in his heart as his spiritual master. He actually was not initiated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta until 11 years later. But for that first meeting, he considered him his spiritual master, and he was always thinking how to carry out that instruction, preaching, and especially preaching in English. And Srila Prabhupada started while in India, while also in his household days, while he had to do business and had so many affairs with family and like that. But he started printing his Back to Godhead magazine early on. We have a very nice Back to Godhead magazine now, but Srila Prabhupada printed one or two pages, writing articles, printing them, and distributing them himself. And that was the beginning. And in due course of time, he started translating and writing his purports for the Srimad Bhagavatam at the suggestion of a friend that why don't you write large books? Books. Why just the Back to Godhead magazine? So that also he did in English. And those were the books that he originally brought in his first voyage to the United States. Okay, just a few more slides here. Disciple, which is related to the word discipline. To accept a spiritual master means to voluntarily agree to abide by the rules and regulations given by a great personality. This is what being a disciple means, to voluntarily agree. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, I accept. The Sanskrit word shisha means one who abides by the rules. And in English, there is the word disciple, which is related to the word discipline. So a disciple becomes disciplined by the spiritual master. Even at the inconvenience of my personal comfort, I must abide by the orders of my spiritual master. That's the mentality that we should have. Even if I'm inconvenienced doing it, I must carry out the orders of my spiritual master. Take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and to serve him with heart and soul. For spiritual advancement, the easiest path is to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and to serve him with heart and soul. That is the secret of success, as stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his 8 stanzas of prayer to the spiritual master. This is the 8th one here. Yasha Prasada, Bhagavat Prasada. By serving or receiving the grace of the spiritual master, one receives the grace of the Supreme Lord. By serving her devotee husband, Kardama Muni, Devahuti shared in his achievements. Similarly, a sincere disciple, simply by serving a bona fide spiritual master, can achieve all the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master simultaneously. So it may even seem like how is this possible? You just serve it. You're serving some person, and all spiritual benefits, everything will come to you because you're serving some person. But it's a fact, not just some person, but the spiritual master, because he's representing Krishna. So all help will come to us in making spiritual advancement and ultimately developing pure love for Lord Krishna. This is the benefit of serving the spiritual master. Stick to the principle of following the words of the spiritual master. If a disciple is very serious to execute the mission of the spiritual master, he immediately associates with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Vani or Vapu. This is the only secret of success in seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead of being eager to see the Lord in some bush of Vrindavan, while at the same time engaging in sense gratification, if one instead sticks to the principle of following the words of the spiritual master, he will see the Supreme Lord without difficulty. So again, if we follow the instructions of the spiritual master seriously, within this very lifetime, if we're serious, within this very lifetime, we can realize we can realize Lord Krishna, we can go back home, back to Godhead. When you are helping my missionary activities, that is real association. Srila Prabhupada was replying to a letter from one of his disciples. You write that you have desire to avail of my association again, but why do you forget that you are always in association with me? When you are helping my missionary activities, I am always thinking of you, and you are always thinking of me. That is real association. So we read a few verses back, Vani and Vapu. Vani means following the instructions, following the orders of the spiritual master. You're associating that way, which is what Srila Prabhupada is referring to here. And Vapu means serving the body, basically. When Srila Prabhupada was personally present in a temple, and someone might be able to cook for Srila Prabhupada, or give him a massage, or do some typing for him, or many different kinds of services. So that is Vapu association. So, but Vani association is more important because that is eternal. Spiritual master typically, and this is the case very much with Srila Prabhupada. He always was traveling, so he might be somewhere for 2 or 3 days. He may be in some temple for 3 days. In fact, typically that's what he did for many years. He would go somewhere, stay for 2 or 3 days, and go on to another location and preach and be there for 3 days. And while he was there was a little opportunity for whoever was present to offer some personal direct service. But everyone, all the time, whether Srila Prabhupada was ever present with them, could follow his instructions. His instructions were clear, especially in regards to preaching Krishna consciousness. So that following instructions is also the association with the spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada mentions he had one godbrother, I don't know the name, and it's not important anyway, but who after 20, 30, 35 years after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, their spiritual master, had departed from this world, he wrote some book. And he said, it took me all these years to get over my grief of my spiritual master leaving so I could actually do something, like write a book. But Srila Prabhupada didn't like that. He criticized. He says, I have never been separate from my spiritual master because I'm always following his instructions and carrying on his mission. So that's the same point. You follow the instructions of the spiritual master. You're never separate from him. And this is our last slide here. I am with you as my Guru Maharaj is with me. The spiritual master is present whenever his sincere disciple is trying to serve his instructions. Same point again. This is possible by the mercy of Krishna. In your attempts to serve me and in all your sincere devotional sentiments, I am with you as my Guru Maharaj is with me. Remember this always. So it's the last slide. Let me just see if nobody left any messages or questions. So I think we'll end here for tonight. We'll plan next week, next Wednesday at 7:15. We'll have our session number 5. We're doing 8 altogether. And those who are actually taking the course, please start sending in some homework. It's getting late now. Do your homework, your forum discussions. And if you have any questions, you've got my email contact, and take advantage and complete this course. It's a very valuable course if we go through it. Our live sessions we're actually reading through the entire student manual, and it'll be very helpful for those who are taking the course and for those who just want to hear, even if we're not actually taking the course. So thank you everyone who may have come in tonight. I cannot see who's here. And we'll end for right now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.